Hey guys, Luke House, licensed clinical professional counselor on my channel, Gorilla Grief. Gorilla Grief, a channel for men experiencing grief and loss and for the people that support them. Women, spouses, partners, family members, friends, peers, you name it. I think this channel will benefit everybody. Specifically is for men experiencing grief and loss. Guerrilla Grief, the title of the channel, just like guerrilla warfare, acknowledging that grief is often messy, it's not linear, oftentimes it's confusing, and just like guerrilla warfare, we have to do whatever we can to navigate it, and that's going to be different for different people, different circumstances. The important part is to harness resilience often and to do what you need to do to take care of yourself during a grief and loss experience. Today, I want to talk about acceptance, the importance of acceptance. So I want to kind of preface Elizabeth Kubler-Ross developed the stages of grief. There was denial, anger, bargaining, all the way to acceptance. So we've kind of acknowledged, the research doesn't really support that everybody goes through all of those stages. And she's even acknowledged before her death, later, that was a useful, helpful reference point. She observed that in hospice work, I believe, and while people were actively diagnosed with a terminal illness. So some of the stages she saw, but we certainly don't all go through those, and they're certainly not linear. And that's just to say there's no right or wrong way to do grief, really. It's different for everybody. What we do want to do is be able to integrate it and move forward and to grow with it, and that's the important part. But acceptance for this topic, I think often as men, we have a hard time accepting when we are in a period of loss. Talk about something like, I have a personal example in my past. So I was born with, when I was young, I had something that caused me to lose vision completely in one of my eyes. I felt like I lived a relatively normal life from that, but when I was older, some of my goals were to get into federal law enforcement and the border patrol, and I went through the process and I did well, and I completed all of the paperwork and the background checks, and I was so excited to get this career going. It looked like it was going to be this really cool stepping stone career to do some other things I wanted, or just to do that career up where I'm from, up north, and go work on the border would have been so exciting. And that process happened, and I got a conditional job offer, and for some reason this never came up until the very end when I thought I was moving. Hey, we can't accept you, you're blind in one eye. I'm like, what the heck? So I went through this period of like a couple years where I would appeal it and try to get exception, and it just didn't happen. And it was hard because it was something I'd become really passionate about and really wanted as a career goal, and something that was, it kind of took away a lot of the peace in my life at the time, because I was kind of driven for that. And there was a point about a couple years in where I finally hit, maybe 2 or 3 years really, it was a period of acceptance finally. And what that period did is allowed me to move on. Okay, that wasn't going to be, and that's not the same. Sometimes you do have to fight, and I don't regret, the work I put in the advocacy, because I wouldn't know. But then there's periods of loss when we oftentimes, man, we don't let go of things when their time has expired. That may be a job, a career, something like I went through with that, a relationship. Hey, even with couples, that I'm fortunate to see couples in my counseling practice, and sometimes couples come, and usually what I say is, hey, your relationship's over. It doesn't mean it has to be over forever. It means the way it's going isn't working, and we got to let go of those we got to let go of those patterns that aren't working and just well, symbolically maybe fresh start, but you kind of want to get some peace. So acceptance, letting go, kind of letting go of things we don't have control over, but acknowledging that period of loss so we can begin the healing process, so we can begin to feel whole again, integrated. And that's where the growth opportunity, you're going to hear me reference growth repeatedly. But we really do. And I think as men, we don't do a great job always accepting and acknowledging loss. And when you can do that, it really does start to begin the healing and integration process. So Gorilla Grief, if you like the message here, please share, please subscribe. I'm going to keep the videos coming. My goal is every time is to reach one person that needs to hear this. So that's what I care about. Have a good day and keep your head up.